To start, it's been several years since the first Zootopia movie came out, the film that made a lasting impression on audiences worldwide. So, what motivated you to return to this world now?
I gotta say, 14 years ago, Byron hired me on the first Zootopia, and it was the thing that brought me to Disney Animation, and I loved it. And even then, we started talking about what future stories might lie in this world of Zootopia because it's such a fun place to tell stories in. And I think frankly, we were just waiting until we could. All three of us had the joy of working on Encanto, and we knew as soon as we finished that, jumping into Zootopia was the next thing that we wanted to do. So I think more than anything, we are fans of this world and these characters ourselves, and we were just kind of dying to get back into it.
Disney always pushes visual boundaries to the next level. So, what creative challenges did you face this time, both in animation and storytelling?
Well, the great thing about Zootopia, the first film was really just about mammals. And so we had 60 different mammal species, and then all the challenges of not only like fabric and metal and things that are part of what people and animals wear, but also like different fur types, all these. But now we're expanding the world of Zootopia to include reptiles and also pinnipeds, which are seals and walrus and manatees and things like that. So there's different skin textures, different environments, but that's what makes this place great. Because like when we got together in the first place to kind of create the world, it was the research that really the specifics that we found about each animal that really made it fun. The more we think it's not a cartoon, this is really about real animals or real society. Like the city was built by animals for animals. The more we leaned into that, the more it
Yep.
got fun and real. So I think it's just that those technical challenges of visualizing that lays on the shoulders of our visual effects supervisors and our genius crew who are much smarter than myself. And but they get
Yes,
it done.
and me.
So Zootopia has been always about empathizing with others. So what do you think is the most important message this new story leaves for today's audiences?
Well, I'll jump in first. I think, what I love about this story, and we're really kind of watching the relationship of Judy and Nick and watching their relationship evolve and grow. Like many of us, like, we meet someone or we meet some friends and we get to know them, and then we get to know them deeper. And sometimes we realize we don't always see things eye to eye, and we don't always come from the same point of view. And it's really kind of watching Judy and Nick and their relationship evolve um, that excites me about this film.
Something that's really important to us, I think, as we're looking at this, is the first film. It is this world of mammals, and we talked a lot about bias and stereotype that we as people have. You see someone and you make a quick assumption about them. I think to Yvette's point, this is one where we're actually talking about friends now who see the world very different, and they are different, and sometimes those differences can make us worry. And I think what we're trying to say with this film, and what's really important for us to talk about, is our differences are what makes us the strongest. When we're able to actually see past them, when we're able to see the benefits of those things, it's this unbelievable strong thing. And that's something that I think the three of us as storytellers are very different. We rely on those differences to tell stories the same way we did with our entire crew. It's 700 people, all from very different backgrounds. We need all of those differences to tell a story like this, and that's critical to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, that's I really echo what the other two said, and it's just like but I love that about these films. They're not just cartoons, they're not just entertainment. They have these deep layers of meaning, and I think, because they are sort of a mirror for us as human beings, it's just wonderful to be able to work in a contemporary world where they're using cell phones and they're dealing with social media and modern day problems. And we have like a very complex time going on. And so to see the animals also struggling with the same things that we are, I think it helps me honestly feel better and get my head around the world a little bit more to see a story like this on the screen, because then I go, okay, I'm not alone. I'm feeling this stuff. You guys are feeling this stuff. And how do we get through it when it seems so impossible? But the sense of hope that's in the movie, I love, and that's carried with Nick and Judy and Gary. And in a weird way, Nibbles is a weird one, but she got that hope too. So I think having that core where you just don't give up, like as complex as it gets, these differences that make us so unique are actually going to get us through it in the end.
Are there any scenes or sequences that were particularly challenging or significant for you during the production, for all of you?
Well, let's let Yvette start with that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry.
She's like, isn't that
can
done
I
yet?
say, can I say all of them?
Yeah,
All of
I think that's true.
This is really one of the most ambitious films we've ever made here at Disney Animation, and you can take that from any angle, from the angle of the amount of characters that we've created and we've put into this world, or from the environments and how detailed and vast and different they are, or from our cast, having so many people, so many great cast members and speaking lines in the film. And so, there are, like with any film, these films are very difficult to make. We put a lot of time and effort into them, but this one in particular, for me, I think just the vastness of it all and how ambitious it is with filling this world full of characters and making it entertaining and, making it feel like a lived-in world. It was one of the biggest challenge, or was one of the challenges that we've had.
Just a quick comment off of that. We have a tiger weatherman in the movie that says the weather today is, as always, everything. Zootopia has like everything. Like we have snow, we have rain, we have desert. So like, whereas another movie might just be set in one setting, we have all the settings all the time. It's part of the reason that it's so complicated.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd say, and it's a real credit to the teams. Obviously, there's all the bells and whistles. There's fun and entertainment everywhere in this movie, but as you saw, there's also really small character moments and very emotional scenes. That takes an incredible amount of skill and fine-tuned work to get the subtlety of those performances. So much of this movie relies on the subtext of Nick and Judy and their relationship and understanding of one another. And the specificity of that is something that takes the best people in the world operating at their highest level.
Okay. And well, Zootopia tackles social and contemporary issues. Are there any special themes, well, new themes that you're excited to explore in this sequel without losing the fun factor?
Yeah, well, I think it's kind of we tried to do, I think, like the first film. It's a film that talked about difficult things like bias and stereotype, but always through this really entertaining world of animals. I think we wanted to continue the discussion on a more personal level in this film. So I think looking at Nick and Judy specifically, this notion that our differences make us stronger was really important to us. But to understand that that's the case, sometimes it just requires a conversation. And it requires, us coming together and being willing to make this bridge between one another, even if we have these worries. And so I think that's a really important part of what this story talks about.
I agree. I think the other thing we learned in putting the story together is not to skip past the struggle, because seeing the characters struggle is really what gives it meaning. Because we're all struggling. We're trying to figure this whole thing out, and we have these dynamics going on in our own lives, and so that just makes Nick and Judy more real, which is why they're so great. Their chemistry is great. They're such incredible friends. There's such deep care there for each other, and that I love that
Yep.
that really comes out in this film. I get emotional several times when I see them interact.